In this video, I'll show you how to operate the center control panel in a Porsche Taycan. The control panel that we are looking at here basically takes the place of all the hard buttons you'd normally see in other Porsche models. This screen is special because it does have something called haptic feedback, so you can probably hear it, but I can also feel when I make a touch command on the screen. Because it's a command screen, it also cannot be turned off. So the power button that you see over to the bottom right, that is actually to shut down the PCM display. Down at the very bottom, we have a plus and minus sign, and that will be our volume for our media. However, you can also do volume by 2 fingers up and down on the free space in the middle of the control panel. On the left-hand side, this will operate and bring up the backup camera and or surround view monitor. And on a Taycan, you can do see a 360 view if you have that option. You can also select what camera you want, so you can see behind the car, in front of the car. You can see to the side of the car. And if you click down below, you can also do a 360 view of the car. Okay, so you can see in my driveway. Now, another helpful feature is you can also do a side view. So you click on the side here. This is particularly helpful when you're pulling up to a charging station, for example. You can judge how close that curb is to the front of your car. And then you can also see how close you are to the curb from the front view as well. So very nice, very advanced camera system on the Taycan. Now, coming back to the control panel, you have a back button, so you can go back on the main PCM screen. And then you also have some free space. It's basically a mouse for the top screen. Over to the right, we have our battery display. So this shows you your state of charge, how many miles you can drive. You can open and close your charging port doors if you have the power operated ones. Direct charging, preheat, pre-cool, all those can be operated from this screen. And you can also see what profiles or timers are also displayed. Now, I go into more detail about these items on a separate video on setting charging settings. So you go ahead and watch that if you want to see how to operate, a profile, for example. Above that battery, we have the buttons for the front, so the front trunk, and then the trunk in the back, so you can open and close it with the push of a button. And if you have the power operated charging doors, you can operate those from here as well. Now, keep in mind, these 2 buttons go away when you put the vehicle in drive. So could put the vehicle in drive. Those are not being able to be displayed when you're driving around because you need to operate the control panel. However, when you put the vehicle back in park, you can see that they're displayed again. Above the the free space, we have our climate controlled seats, so heat, ventilation, depending on how your vehicle's equipped. Up top, we have our climate control, so you can set your temperature. And then I recommend auto fan speed, and your car just figures out what fan speed is the most appropriate to maintain that temperature. You can also sync or unsync, so if you want different temperatures and fan speeds on different sides of the vehicle, you can do that. If you want them all to be the same, you say sync. Up top, you have your defrost for your front window, rear window, recirculation, and AC max, so if you want maximum air conditioning. And then up top, we also have some quick menus to operate the top PCM screen. Those can actually be hidden by clicking this little, burger icon down below the 3 lines.
How can I help you?
To raise and lower that screen. The one thing I skipped over is actually how to operate the is how to operate the air vents in a Taycan. So you'll notice you can't move these air vents. So how do you operate them? Well, they're electronic, and they're electronic for a couple different reasons. The first reason is your position of your air vents can be saved to your profile. So your car can remember what air vent preferences you like. So if you like it blowing on your face, on your stomach, on your hip, for example, it will remember that and apply it when you load in your profile. If you want to learn more about profiles, that's the subject of another video. But how do you change this? You know, if I want to change where the air is being blown, you actually have to click menu here, and then we'll go up top, and this is where you'll see we can adjust the air vents. So there's two default modes. There's diffused, so that's the air, you know, really blowing around you, and then focused is the air is blowing on you. Now for most people, that's probably good enough. You know, you either want the air blowing around you or on you. Pretty easy to change, but you can also do individual, and this will allow you to use these circles to place the air exactly where you want it. You can also do the air intensity as well, so air speed, fan speed, and you can get really customized in terms of where you want the air to go. All right, but again, for most people, I think focused or diffused is sufficient. The other reason why we have electronic air vents in the Taycan is that the more louvers you had in the front of the vent to control where the air is going, the more air noise you get. This is an electric car, so we don't have the normal engine noise to drown out some of the other noises you might now hear because the cabin's quieter. So the Taycan actually uses flaps deep inside the dash to control the air, again, so we can have a quieter environment.